Hey guys, you're tuned into Honestly Friends Pod with Day and Lee, where we talk about life, love, friendships, and the culture. Hey Lee, what up, girl?
Hey Day, I'm good. What's up with you?
Oh, I'm good. Getting over a little cold situation, but I'm good
hmm
otherwise. What's up with you? You ready to grill me?
Yeah, I am ready to grill you.
Why? Tell me
Because
why.
you be trying me. You be trying me. And I want the friends to, first of all, hear your ridiculousness. And second of all, let us know who's right between you or me. Because one of the reasons why our friendships work our friendship works is because we have differing opinions and we don't ever let it get that deep. And so I guess that means there's a safe space where you can tell me how you feel and I can tell you how I feel. But you recently have doubled down on something you have told me in the past. And the first time you said it, I let you slide. But the second time, no, ma'am. So, friends, what I need y'all help with is that Dania has told me on more than one occasion that I am male identified. And she knows this bothers me because I don't like male identified females. The first time she said it, she was like, Elise, I hate to say this, but you have some male identified ways. And at first I was like, no, I do not. But I was like, what do you mean? Because I felt like it was so like, oh my gosh, am I? Because when somebody tells me something about myself, I try to introspect. I don't necessarily think they're lying. Like maybe they see something in me that I don't see. But I was like, nah, 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 nah. And I defended myself because I'm like, no, I am a girl's girl for number one. Um, I don't see it for most male opinions. And I'm usually always defending a woman in the situation. So how is it out of all of that you have come to that conclusion? The people want to know.
The people or you?
The people.
So okay, the people's champ. I got you. So
Mhm.
the reason I have said it, and to be honest, like over time, I have a forgetful brain. So I'm just like, what sparked it the first time, or the second time, or the
Real
third time I
quick.
thought it? But yeah,
Real quick. Let's define what a male identified female is. So, and the reason why it bothers me because when we talk about male identified, we talk about women who tend to see things from the vantage point of a man. And I will
hmm
give you said example. A female is sexually assaulted, and we can count on men to be like, "Oh, what was she wearing?"
hmm
A male identified female will also join in on that conversation, like, oh, she shouldn't have went up there that night. She knew what she knew what was coming after the fact. And it's like, bitch, why would you say that? Are you on their side or our side? Aren't you a woman? You
hmm
can't empathize with what a woman is going through and like how she could have gotten in that situation. I don't care if she was naked. That is not okay for her to get raped. So it's always weird to me when a lady is saying stuff that usually would be an idea that identifies from the male perspective. Do you have
hmm
another example? I'm trying to think.
I think that was a pretty good
Hmm.
example.
Or like when back in the day, unfortunately, mothers marry their daughters off, whatever. Because a lot of times back in the 50s and 60s, that was the only option for a female, especially in Black communities, like in America at least. But it's actually a cultural thing. I know in Asia, they marry off the daughters as soon as possible. In a lot of countries, that's how it is. And like, let's say a woman is being battered by her husband and she comes in, which takes a lot of courage to tell her own family members. And then the mother will be like, well, what did you do to make him mad? What? What do you, hello? So this
Okay,
is what we're
because
talking about with like male identified. So when you say that
yeah.
that's how I am, I never do that. So where are you coming from?
So I don't think it's with everything that you do,
Mm.
right? I don't think it's with everything that you do. I I always say this about you. I feel like you are like an island. You are like a lone wolf. So like
Mm-hmm.
you are not I don't think you're necessarily like male identified. Like you're not like pick me. Anything a man says, like I'm gonna agree with it, right? But you're also not like a traditional girl's girl where it's just like I'm for the women, you know, women empowerment. You are, but like not for everything. Not for everything, and we'll get into why I feel like that about you.
Okay.
Um, in certain situations, because I think in certain situations, and that's why I say I feel like you're like an island. Like you, well, it depends on the subject. I feel like with you. Um, so what sparked the recent one was one day you saying like you want to have a conversation. Um, maybe on the podcast. And maybe we can still have this conversation on the podcast. But you were like mentioning that you were talking to like your boyfriend or something like that, and you feel like a woman that does not have kids has higher stock in dating. And to be honest with you, I was a little bit thrown off by that and a little bit confused by that because that sounds like it's coming from a competitive edge. Number one, like there's a comparison point there between yourself as a woman that is single without kids and women that are single mothers. And so yeah, that just kind of threw me off because I'm like, where is that like coming from? Like, yes, of course you can, be happy and be proud, like you didn't end up having children with someone you didn't want to have children with in the past, but I don't think it's a stain on a woman for being a single mother. And in most times single moms be doing the damn thing and take care of their business, and it's really the dads that are absent and aren't really doing what needs to be done. And these women are like really out here grinding and making sure that they do for their children, to have someone then say you have less stock because you're a mom. Like that threw me.
I I hear you. And I don't really know how to respond to that. When I was saying it, I was saying for me, when I am dating, I'm glad I didn't have children at this point in my life because I feel like for me, this is me though, I feel like it does lower my stock in dating because like if there's someone that I really want to date, and I have children, they may not want to date me because I have children. That's for me. And I understand. But the reason why the world is like that, I think, is messed up. It shouldn't be like that, but it is like that. And for me, I'm just like, we have to be honest about it. But when you say that, it makes me feel bad. I don't know if it's bad about myself or just bad about the situation because I came from a single mother. My mom was a single mother with 2 kids. And I think that's also why I don't know where it comes from when I have like a bad like taste in my mouth about men, but it's got to come from the fact that I don't have a good relationship with my father. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but I think above all, the reason why I come from, and maybe like you say, I'm not male identified in a lot of ways, but there are some ways I am. I think it leads down to honesty. And above being a female or male or in racism, black or white, it's about what's right to me. And sometimes when you are right, your opinion is going to be the least popular. So that's where I come from. So that, and I am okay with falling on, people aren't going to agree with me, but I don't think I'm being honest, and people don't like honesty. But there are some things on the male side and the women's side that we have to be honest about, that we are not, we ain't shit on both sides, on men's sides and women's side. Just because I'm a woman, when I see something that is trifling, in my opinion, on a woman's side, I can't be like, I can't speak up and say, or the worst case scenario, be silent about it. No, like if a woman is wrong, just because I'm a woman, I can't just be like, no, it's okay because she's a woman and no, it's wrong. But I think that might be where you're coming from. We just differ in opinion, like, is it wrong or right? But I'm like, I'm gonna stand on what I think is right. And sometimes a male might be right in that situation, but I still don't really be liking you like that. So it's just like I hate to do it. I hate to defend a man sometimes, but what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. That's
So
just where I'm coming from.
so for me, like you mentioned,
Mm,
to me it's very interesting that that's the opinion that you have, right? Because like you mentioned, you were raised in a single parent household with just a
mhm,
mom, you and yourself and your brother.
mm,
Myself, I was always raised in a two parent household.
mhm,
My whole entire adolescence. And then, my parents divorced and both of them are remarried now again. So essentially, my whole majority of my life has been with parents that are married. Of course,
mm,
after a certain point, not parents that were married to each other, but still essentially two parent households. Like if I want to, and I don't be wanting to,
mhm,
because
mhm,
I can essentially go on to either homes, right? So with it, with the fact that you were raised like that, like I feel like the verbiage, the word choice, the feeling about it is interesting to me because what you've known and all
mm,
you've known has been a single mom. And I'm like, I get that you're saying like as a personal choice. And for me, as a personal choice, I'm also really glad I don't have any kids, for anybody wondering. I don't have any
mm,
kids either. I'm not married yet. And I'm really glad that I didn't have people that are in from the past because I want to keep the past in the past. And
mm.
unfortunately, children will make you, children are, for lack of a better term, they are a life sentence, but it could be a beautiful life sentence. They are forever. And because they are
Mhm,
forever, that means the connection that you have with another person is also forever. You don't stop being a parent when your child becomes an adult. You parent forever. You have that connection with the other parent forever. So in that instance, I can understand where you're like, um, not being a mom,
mhm.
a single mom is something that you're proud of. I'm happy about that for myself, and I'm happy that you feel like that. And if you were a single mom, I would be happy that you were a single mom doing your thing.
It's
um
not that I'm proud that I'm happy that I'm not a single mom. That's not where I'm coming from though.
so then I'm confused. Where
I'm
are
just
you
saying
coming
if I
from?
did have kids, I know that I probably when I wanted to date, I am not going to get the guy that I probably want because a lot of guys don't want to date women with kids. And then I would just have to be okay with that. It doesn't happen all the time, but I think we have to admit that it does happen sometimes. Like some guys and some women do not want to be involved with people who have kids. And for instance, my mother, she had two children and she dated, like she had boyfriends, but like she kept them very separate and she always made it known that we were priority. And I know if I do have children, I would be the same thing because I know no other way to raise kids. So in my head, I would kind of like not even try to date or until my kids were grown. That's just, and I'm okay with that because I've been single for a lot of my adult life too. I have like my season, you know what I'm saying? Like I've been single for over a decade. So it's nothing for me to not date somebody. But I know once I have kids, it's probably a wrap for me. I don't have time
To
for these men talking about my kids. Like it's them over you. I don't care about you. Like these are my kids. So
to
that's what I'm
me,
coming from.
and I think I differ in that because I think to me it may change your dating pool, but it
Mm,
doesn't necessarily have to change the quality of men if the quality of man is good. Just because
mm,
like, yeah, you might meet a bunch of guys that are like, I don't want a woman with children. And usually those guys don't want a woman with children because they're not trying to be really serious about anybody. Like, and having a child makes you have to be really serious about someone. But there are plenty of really amazing men out there that come into a woman's life and step up and step in for the children that are in that
mm,
woman's life because they want that woman and they want that the what comes with that woman.
mm,
Like plenty of women do that for men. There are plenty of women that will date a man that has a child or two, or maybe they're divorced or whatever the case may be, and they have a child. I just like, I don't think there is a right and wrong when it comes to, because you mentioned like right and wrong. I don't think there's a right and wrong when it comes to like, well, this is right and this is wrong or whatever. Like, yes, you may meet a bunch of guys that do not want to date a person with kids. You might meet a man or a woman, I guess, may meet
mm,
um, a bunch of women that don't want to date women with kids, but there are also a bunch of men out there that will step up if they are serious about the woman. And I don't think that having children is really a deterrent for that, because there's plenty of single divorced moms that get remarried and they're in relationships again.
Yeah.
Like, it does happen. I think it may be the kind of man that you want may not want you, but that doesn't mean that it it shuts you off from quality men. It really doesn't shut you off from quality men. And in my opinion, I feel like a man that will sit there and be like, "Oh, you're everything that I want, but you have kids, so you're not it," really isn't a quality guy.
I agree with that. I agree with that. But where I'm coming from is I'm not even going to try. At that point,
And
I'm
I
not trying.
and
Once I have kids,
I
because I don't have the patience. I'm gonna
so
be focused on my kids.
and this is where I think, and I understand that. I totally get that
Mm-hmm.
viewpoint. And it's unfortunate. I really do hope that, if and when you do have kids,
Mm-hmm.
that nothing happens where you find yourself to be a single mom, because you're a wonderful
Yeah.
person and you deserve love. You know what I mean? And it can happen. You can get married
Yeah.
and still be
It
a
can
single
happen.
mom. So it's
Mm-hmm.
just like, I just don't, for me as your friend, I don't want you to think that's a limitation, because it doesn't have to be. There's plenty of really amazing people out
Yeah.
there.
I get what you're saying, but I'm telling you, it would be a self limitation I would put on myself because I don't have the patience. I know myself, and I'm nobody's gonna say anything about my kids. No, it's fine. I'd rather just raise my kids. And I'm not saying if the Lord plopped him in front of me, I was like, this is him, up, then yes, but it would have to be a clear sign. I don't have time for these. I don't have time for that because if I just know where I would go. I would become a mother bear, and it would be annihilation for that man. I don't have time for that. My kids need me out of jail. So like
Hmm.
I just for me, that's where I'm coming from. But I do not think I know that is not how a lot of other moms want to move in life, and they shouldn't have to. That's just me.
Hmm.
And it could be that that's how my mom was. And again, my mom was probably like, you need to stop. Like, you are not me. And I'm like,
Hmm.
but I agree with a lot of the things that she did. Some things I do not disagree. I do not agree with, but I never felt second to any man. And I don't want and I see in relationships where there are blended families that kids feel second. What's that lady's Tiny's daughter, Jonique. Zonique, I think her name is. Like she just went a little viral. I don't know, it wasn't a big thing, but she was said that, she always there was a part of her that knew she didn't matter as much as T.I. Her mom was always trying to be with T.I. And that may be an extreme, and I'm on the other extreme, but I have told you and I have told the friends on the podcast, like I'm an extreme person. I don't know how to it's always going to be a struggle for me to not always lean to that. I do believe in that you can try to better yourself once you know you have a problem. But I'm just saying that
Hmm.
that's where I fall on that part of the spectrum. That's all.
Okay. So then it's a personal choice. When you
Mm-hmm.
brought it up to me, it didn't sound personal. It sounded like I am a better option because I am not a woman with kids.
No, not at
And
all. I
well,
do
that
not think that. Uh,
okay. And I'll receive that.
mm-hmm.
Like, if that's what it is, I think it's word choice. And like, word choice is also super important, because that's how I took it. That's how I heard it. Like, if you're
Mm-hmm.
saying like my stock is better, then well, whose stock is not? You know what I mean? Like, it's a comparison point to say that. But I hear what you're saying. Like, so then my interpretation of that was wrong. But that's where I got that from. And,
Mm-hmm.
like you mentioned, like your upbringing and all that stuff. Like, the reason why I say it's like male identified is because a lot of men, not a lot, I don't know the statistics on it, some men will think like that. And I
Yeah,
think
and
a
I
lot of
hate
times,
that I could be used as a pawn for them to say, "See, she's right. I'm right. This is a female." No, because I'm like, no, no, keep me out of it. Do not do that because
and
I don't want to be used for that.
ironically enough, though, I think the reason why a lot of, I keep saying a lot, why some men, because I don't know the
Mm-hmm.
statistics, I'm not going to look it up, I don't care
Mm-hmm.
about that. Why some men feel like that is because they share a similar life situation as you. Like, they were raised by
Mm-hmm.
a single mom, dad wasn't in the household, and a lot of kids have resentment for, as much as you have love for your parent, like sometimes you have resentment for the parent that stayed because they're the only one that was there. And you kind of feel like, I wish my mom would have been able to keep a man, or had a male figure in my life, and then, so you have like a hardened view on it. I think that's what happens with a lot of guys. So when you brought that point up, I was like, it sounds like what a man would say. Like, automatically, let's blame the woman. Automatically, she's a baby mama, not worth it. Like, that's how
Mm-hmm.
it was, I received that like information. Um and if I'm going to be honest too, like, it clicked for me with a different conversation that we've had in the past. You're probably still going to hold your ground on it, but it did click for me in this situation where, we've talked about like Sierra and Russell Wilson in the past, and definitely feel like she would never have been with Russell um, before. I guess before her
Mm-hmm.
kids or whatever the case may be. Like, you feel like she I'm guessing you feel like she's just with him because I don't know. Like, I think you say because of money, but I've only ever known her to date people in
A
the
hundred
industry. I think
percent.
we've only ever known her to date people in the industry, so they've all had money. So if that's the case,
Mm-hmm.
then everybody that's dating someone in the industry is dating someone for money. But I think
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of guys, um, I think it's a thing of like, you're a baby mama, you're not worth it. You're not worth to have like a really nice, caring man. Like, how can you, as a baby mama, as Future's baby mama, on top of everybody else's baby mama, how can you, as Future's baby mom, end up with someone like this? Like, that's how it clicked for me when you said that. Like, honestly, because I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, like, you don't think that a baby mama deserves more.
Okay, well, this just got really convoluted because when we did talk about it, you didn't mention anything about baby mama because then I would have said how I felt about it. Uh, but yes, that was the first time where we did have to talk about this, and you said that you think I'm male identified, and I was a little insulted, but I could see where you were coming from. For clarity, my opinion on Sierra, I don't have the highest opinion of her. Uh, she is an artist, but I've always gotten the vibe. I go off of vibes. I can just, and I'm usually, in my opinion, right, but it's my opinion, I don't know, but I can just tell like she is a woman. We're the similar age, but she aspired to be a talented artist, and that's debatable. I don't happen to think, but then even the most famous artists, are they really talented? Can they sing? This can go down a rabbit hole, but
Hmm.
I don't think she's ever gotten to a place where she's wanted to be in her career. So okay, fine. And then but I think she wants to have a certain lifestyle that would have come with the career. Once she realized this isn't happening for me, what is the next thing to do? Date a rich man. I don't think she's ever dated a regular person, and I feel like when you just date a man because of money, you forfeit um love. I think like true love. Like, and some women are okay with that. Like, they want the lifestyle, they want to be taken care of. But my thing is call it what it is. Stop acting like you made the decision off of love. You did not make the decision off of love. You made the decision because you want a certain lifestyle. And all I'm just saying is call it what it is. I do not agree. Russell, he's a great guy. And I do not like how men tend to get on him because I think he's like an innocent bystander in the situation. Because he cares about her, but he got to know somehow on a certain level, if he wasn't who he was, would she give him the time of day? That's the only thing I'm saying.
If Jay-Z wasn't who he was, would Beyonce give him the time of day?
No,
If, let's see, who else is out there?
but Beyonce don't
If
need him.
if Brad Pitt wasn't the man that he was, would Jennifer Aniston give him the time of day?
No, but Jennifer Aniston don't need him. Sierra needs somebody. She has not been able to do it on her own at a level she wants to do it. I'm not saying she doesn't have talent, because she does, but it has not converted into something where she is someone that is like a household name. So to me, she
Sierra was
is no
definitely a
different.
house. She was definitely a household name. I
Was,
think.
not is. Beyonce is still a household name. Jennifer Aniston is still a household name. Sierra is not.
Well, okay, I'll give you that. But I also feel like people will date their peers. If you live in the hood, you're going to probably date somebody hood. If you live in a
True.
in a middle class area, you're gonna date people that are in the middle class more than likely. If you are a doctor, you might meet someone that is in the healthcare profession. I think people date their peers, and I would go ahead and say that they are peers. Once you become like a celebrity adjacent, once you're in certain rooms, you become that person's peer. So she's
She's
dating her
somewhat
peer,
of a
or
peer.
she's married to
Somewhat.
her peer.
Did you say beard? Oh, because hold on.
Peer.
Oh,
No, no,
okay.
no.
Because
It just came out very.
there are debates about that too. But
Oh no, I will never. I don't think. I
tell the
don't think
truth.
that's that for
I
them.
don't
No,
know.
no, no. I don't think it's that for them.
Okay.
I actually think that Mr. My girl Sierra, I'll say my
Mhm.
girl loosely because she ain't one of my faves like that, but I like her. My girl Sierra is Scorpio, like I'm a Scorpio, and I happen to really, really believe that Russell Wilson right there, that everybody think is a square, is not as square as everybody think he is, and I think they are really matched. And when it comes to their sexual energy,
I hope so. I'm not a hater. I hope so. But it always comes from honest. Like I just don't understand why we don't call a thing a thing, and we're just acting like it's. She's not the only one that does this. There are plenty of women that do this. Men nowadays do it too. But it's like we're acting like she's dating him for money. She's dating him for his status. That's all I'm saying.
but I think okay, that's your opinion. I think I well you don't know Sierra. You don't know Russell. You don't know, and I don't
Mhm.
know either. Neither one of us know like the level of their love or anything like that. I just think that was one of the other times where I was just like, you're male identified in that, especially because Sierra gets crucified time and time and time again. And for the most part, it's usually stems from the fact that she became Future's one of his many baby mamas or whatever. And a lot of people believe that baby mamas deserve less, especially when it's a black baby mama. So
The whole baby mama aspect of it was not in my head. So that if that's what's coming from a man, that just proved that I don't. I'm not talking about that because even before she got with Future, I just felt as if like she's trying to make fetch happen, and unfortunately for her, it
she is trying to
doesn't
make fetch
work.
happen.
And she just so then when she got with Future, I was like, well, since she can't make it as an artist, she gonna be with an artist. Cause again, it's the like you said, they're peers, but it's the adjacentness. And okay, I can't make it, I'm not Rihanna. Only one of them could have been Rihanna, and it happened to be Rihanna. That's not her fault. But
Well,
it's mhm.
speaking of Rihanna, since Rihanna is a billionaire and she's with ASAP Rocky, that's not. Would you then say that he's only dating her for her money?
Is what's his name?
Or
What
that
ASAP dating
ASAP?
Rihanna for his
Because she's a
money?
billionaire.
I think ASAP is just enamored with her. But I wouldn't put it past him to be trying to get some money from her. I wouldn't put it past her. And I think that's a whole nother rabbit hole we can go down. I just think Rihanna wanted a baby. And there's a man in her life that has always liked her. Again, she needs a peer because she can't just go to somebody off the street that will profess her love who's making 40,000 to 100,000 a year. She could, but he's somewhat of a peer to her. But do I think that I think I would hate to be Rihanna because how do you find someone that genuinely loves you when you're a billionaire? You'll never know. She still don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
not jealous. Like I would hate to be in that situation because it's super hard. But what do you do when you're a woman that wants to have a child? When you want to belong to somebody? You make certain choices. You make the best choice that you can. And with Sierra,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying she didn't make the best choices she could. I'm just saying, let's just call it what it is. Because with Rihanna, I will say I called it what it is with her. She's 34. She's a year, I think, younger than us, or 33. I don't know. But
Something like that.
yeah, she wants a family. And now I'm very transactional because I'm thinking like, oh, she done booked two. I would not be surprised in a few years they not together no more. She got her kids out of it.
That's just the nature of relationships nowadays.
Yeah.
But okay. Okay, so I'll say this, like
Do
for
you think
me,
that's male identified? How I have sussed the Rihanna and ASAP situation?
I would say we don't know enough to really say what is or isn't, because just like
Mhm.
you are saying like, okay, she just wants a baby out of the situation and she picked, ASAP. Like, I think the same can be said about a lot of people who are not famous in a lot of different situations. But at the end of the day, we don't know. Like,
Mhm.
we don't know, and I don't know enough to make a judgment. And that's my thing when it comes to Sierra. It's like, I know you
Mhm.
have a very strong opinion of it, but it's like, I don't know enough to make a judgment. I feel like I, yeah, her career isn't like really there, but I've always thought that she was like a really nice girl. Like, to me, in my opinion, like her
Mhm.
and Russell do match. And let's say she's dating someone that has money. Personally, I find nothing wrong with that. But I think, because you've always mentioned it, especially like marriage is not a
Mhm.
good deal for women. So I feel
Mhm.
like find your good deal out of it. You and if that's her good deal out of it, then that's the good deal out of it. Because other than that, it's just servitude.
Mhm. But then just call it what it is.
But at the end of the day, like, you don't know, you and I don't know if she's actually with him for love or for money. And I feel like you have a very hard stance on it,
Mm.
as it pertains to her. And even that, I would even say that is a male identified stance where it's like, you're just a gold digger. And it's like, you don't know that. You don't know if that's what she is. It's just a notion that you have. It's just a thought process that you have, but you don't actually know that to be true.
True, but your opinion, you don't know either.
Exactly.
So
But
I'm
I
not
don't hold a
saying
hard
I
opinion on it. Because I'm saying you could be
Mhm.
true, but you're saying you are true. Like,
No, I'm saying that's my opinion. I'm not I don't you're right. I don't know. Maybe I don't end every single thing, but I don't know. But it's just
hmm
my opinion.
okay. Okay. Well, I'll say this, like,
Mhm.
back whenever we had that conversation initially about Sierra, like, I thought you had a male identified opinion because that's how a lot of males feel about her as well. They feel
Mhm.
like she's a gold digger. Some of them feel like she deserves less because she is a baby mama, and
That's
a lot of
crazy.
them.
I don't think that. That's why I'm like I can't it's a place where you feel like you said, I don't fit in on either side. I am maroon
Mm-hmm,
because it's just like I'm not caping for no man most of the
mm-hmm,
time. But if I feel like a female, a woman is not right, I'm not gonna say she right because she's a woman. I can't do that. So a lot of times I am on my own island. Yep.
yeah. Yeah, you are. You
Mm-hmm.
are. And you know that you be good with that. So yeah, so I mean that's why like the most recent time that I said it, I was just like, because it did sound like a comparison piece. Like I get what you're saying now that you're like for your own self, like you're glad that it didn't happen. And I feel like that's the
Mm.
same thing for me. Like I'm glad I didn't happen, but I've never made the comparison to be like, well, I have a better stock because I'm not a baby mom. Because I just feel like anybody that wants me gonna want me, and you're gonna want me in the package that I come in.
That's true. You want who you want, and what you won't do, you will do for love. I do believe that. So that's why I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying, like, if I were to have kids and become a single mother through divorce or death or whatever, um, if I'm meant to have somebody, I will have somebody. But my kids are going to be my priority. The
Mm-hmm.
Lord have to literally drop him in front of me, and I'm like, oh, okay, thank
And I
you.
just want you to know that like, and I know for you, you are a black and white person, but
Yeah.
or for anyone, maybe not for you, because I don't think
Hmm.
you're just gonna be like, I'm gonna do what I want, because that's how you do.
Hmm.
Like, I'm gonna do what I want anyway. But for
Yeah.
anybody that else that's listening to this, I just want y'all to know that life does not stop after you have kids. Just because a relationship didn't work out with somebody else, it does not stop because you had a child with that person. You can still date. And hopefully, now, after you've had children, like the people that come into your life are a little bit more intentional. They care for you and your heart, and they hopefully care for your children and your children's heart. And I feel like it actually could be a blessing and a curse sometimes having
Hmm.
children. Like, it your pool might seem smaller, but it might be more quality at that point because the people that are really there for you and really want more. So I just want to say, like, don't give up hope out there for anybody that's a single mom, because I feel like moms especially deserve the world. Like, you risked your life to have this child. You risked your life to carry this
Mm-hmm.
child. You risked your life to take care of this child. And some of you guys are doing it by yourself
Mm-hmm.
and with
And
little to no
often
help.
y'all didn't women do not put themselves in this situation by themselves, yet they have
Right.
to deal with it by themselves, which is some
By
bullshit.
themselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
So no, I agree with what you're saying. I don't think life ends when you have a child. No, I don't. I hope it's not construed that way. I could understand if people are like, nah, at least what are you talking about? I'll take that too. But that's not what my heart feels.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so then I was wrong about that. And I think I always say this about me, because I'll always say, like, I haven't finished my thought. Like, I'll say something and
Mm-hmm.
then someone's just like, what you talk about? And I'm like, I realize I didn't finish the sentence. And so
Mm.
maybe when it was said to me, not maybe, when it was said to me, I did not understand the context because it wasn't fully explained to me, you know,
Right.
what your reasoning and thought process was, because I think it was just more so word choice more than actual, this is what you feel.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that makes sense. And that clears it up, because I was a little bit like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was like, my girl, I was like, nah, my best friend, like, really one of the guys. Like, what am I gonna do? And you know me, I'm sorry, but I am not for the guys like that. I'm just like, mm-mm. And I think, as
Mm.
much as I'm like a girl's girl, I think in many conversations that we've had with each other, like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong in this conversation, because I was really on you, and I know you probably do not feel good about that. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think
Mm-hmm.
that though I'm a girl's girl, I will still hold a girl accountable for their own actions. Like, I think when we talk about stuff, like, I'll do it on both spectrums, but maybe I don't. So tell me what you think about that.
No, I
Like,
think
when
you
we,
always find an excuse for the girl.
you do,
Mhm.
because
You
I'm
can
like,
justify it.
I could justify a lot of things, but one thing I won't do is justify a
I
thing
let you
for a
though,
man.
because then it's just like that's how you feel. I'm not going to change how you feel. So and for the sake of us not to keep going back and forth, because I just don't want to do that. I just let you feel the way you feel, but in my head I'd be like, you're justifying it. Okay,
You know what? And you
and
know
I'm
why
not
I
surprised.
justify it? Because I'm gonna
Why?
justify it right now. You know why I justify it? Because this is a
Why?
man's world and women are living in
It's
it.
so
So
true.
if I can give something to the girls, I'm gonna give it to the girls. But when it really does
And
come
that's
down to,
maybe why I don't, because I'm not gonna cape for no man. I'm not caping for these men. I do not want them to get like, and they probably already think that, but they find out real quick. Nah, no, they if they have it and they try to come to me with that, they be like, no. I'd be like, don't do that, because you're gonna get your feelings hurt. But maybe in the beginning they think I'm on their side, because to be fair, what you say, it may sound like that to them, but anybody who know me, they be like, yeah, no, she not. But I could see in the beginning, maybe from the things I say, they're like, "Oh, is she on my side?" You will quickly find out, say,
yeah,
"No, I am not."
they'd be like, yeah, this one's for me. She hates the girls.
No, 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 no. Yeah, maybe, but like, if they were to have a conversation with me, be like, "Oh no, I'm not gonna talk to her no more." Cause yeah, don't come over here. Don't do that. What? Yeah. So I mean, um, do you? So I don't know. Like, do you? I feel like you still may feel that way, and we're just gonna have to just.
Yeah, no, because I feel like you're gonna say something else some other time that I'm gonna be like, my friend is for the guys. Yep. You're going to, you are going to, and I'm gonna stay here and look once again like deer
And
caught in the
now
headlights. Like, what?
and now I'm gonna know she just thinks I'm male identified, and that she could feel that way. But I'm
No,
not
but
gonna stop saying how I feel.
I always say this. I always say this about me. I
Mm-hmm.
because I think it sounds pretty. I'm an enigma wrapped in a dang. I forgot what it is, but I'm an enigma and you're in a conundrum, and that is why we are
Mm-hmm.
friends. Because
Mm-hmm.
though, and I feel like you're wrong about this, though
Mm-hmm.
I do. Well, no, you're not wrong about this. Though I do go up for the girls. Like, when it comes down to it, I will look at things even keel. Like, if it's somebody I don't know and I don't care about, like, yeah, I'm gonna be like, I don't care whatever's happening with the girls, I'm on the girls' side. But
Mm-hmm.
if it's like a real conversation about something that's happened, you know me, I always see both sides, and I will probably weigh why this happened on this side and why that happened on that side. But I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
go with the side that feels more right. Like,
Right.
in any situation, like, if I feel like you're wrong, you're wrong. That's just what it is. But I'm more likely to
That's true.
see both sides and try to see why things got to where it got to with anything. But like for instance, we've had conversations where probably a lot of girls won't agree with this, but where we have said, if you're in a relationship or a situationship with a guy, or I guess the girl, we always guy or girl, if you're in a relationship in a situationship with someone and the relationship doesn't pan out, but like that you've had to bend over backwards to even try to make that relationship work, it's on both of you. I'm never gonna sit there and be like, oh no, because you're a girl, like the guy was so wrong in stringing you along and making this work when you signed up for that. And we've had that conversation where we're like, yeah, no, like, sis, that's on you too. Like, yeah, I can say like the guy probably he shouldn't have
Was
taken
not
advantage of
the
you.
best. Yeah, but like,
Yeah,
there's no possible way that you didn't know he was taking advantage of you. He told you he was taking advantage of you. Your friends told you he was taking advantage of you. And you like, no, he's not taking advantage. He was like, please leave me. Like Chloe and what's his name?
Tristan.
Exactly.
Like that. I'm like, girl, at this point, that's what you want. I'm not mad at him no more. I can't even be mad at him no more.
Please break up with me. I cheated on you with your sister's friend, with these prostitutes, and everybody. You still gonna stay with me? And she'll be like, yeah, we gonna work it out. He'd be so upset. Like, I just want you to leave me. No.
Yeah, and these are the things that we agree on. So like when I say like I don't think you're always I think you are exactly what I've always thought you were. A lone wolf, a person on your own island, and you have your strong beliefs in certain things, but sometimes the sentence is not fully constructed. And I'm like, my friend is for the guys. She's for the guys.
It's crazy.
Because it is funny, like when I do have those moments where I'm like, what the heck is going on? I'm like, but didn't you just say N words ain't S words like 5 seconds ago? Like, where is this thought coming from?
And I be feeling it because I can't stand it.
So I'm like, what the heck? Where is this thought coming from? But I think it just stems from that. But like, I think I definitely think you're gonna say something else. So I'm gonna be like, there she go again. There she goes again. And then I'm probably gonna say something where you like, girl, that's wrong, but you be sticking up for the girls. I'm be like, I am. And
no matter what.
Because this is a man's world. You see that they be trying to take away our reproductive rights and all kinds of stuff. I'm gonna stick up for the girls anywhere that I can.
No, yeah, you're right. You're not wrong. You're 100% right about that. Taking away our reproductive rights, taking away education. Not so much here, but who's to say that won't happen here? But definitely in them little girls in Afghanistan. Like,
oh, they are. I saw something on TikTok. Lord, first of all, they trying to ban it, and I'm like, this is where I got my news. But I saw something on TikTok where it might be in Florida that they're trying to pass a thing where they won't have sex ed in schools, and we know a lot of parents don't talk to their kids about sex.
Child, it's about to be Handmaid's Tale.
I'm sad about that, actually, because I'm not gonna do it.
Bad.
So
it's really bad.
I'm not about to do it. So yeah. I guess, Lee, for the sake of this conversation, you are not.
No. Stay how you feel. You feel the way you feel. You can stay how you feel. That's fine. I don't think you're right. Just stay how you feel. Don't be trying to like, oh no. Stay how you feel. It's fine.
First of all, one thing you know about me is that I'm gonna always stand in what I feel, but what I can say, let me say what I was about to say. What I can say is that I was wrong, because this is growth and maturity, right? I was wrong in my assessment of what you originally said. I did not give you the space to completely say that when I judged it, and I misjudged it for sure. And I apologize for that, because I'm pretty sure that hurt your feelings, and that's not ever my intent. But this is why we do this.
But I know you didn't mean it. And it's just like sometimes your feelings are going to get hurt. But you didn't mean to hurt my feelings. So, absolutely, and I'm not trying to change your opinion. Like, you feel the way you feel. I'm just going to have to deal with it. And I know you're not coming with like a bad intention. So we just going to have to agree to disagree. And that's what we do.
And this is why we are honestly friends, because we're just not always going to see eye to eye, but that doesn't mean that we don't have like that love or that respect for each other when it comes to the things that we don't agree with or don't see eye to eye on. And it's funny, like guys, just so you know, like we have these type of conversations more often than not, and we just be like, all right, anyway, so and go on to the very next conversation.
Just imagine if we were someone new. Let's say we were going somewhere new and we were having this conversation, and they'd be like, "Wait, how do y'all?" And I'm like, "She don't know what she's talking about. I'm not paying her any attention."
Yeah,
that's fine. She can feel the way she feel.
This is how we are. So if you guys thought this was intense, this is a nothing. We literally will have these conversations like every other day or every other week, and then be like, "All right, so you saw what was on TV the other day?"
Yeah, and that's like, what at least you don't feel the type of way. I'm like, not enough. She can keep talking. That's fine. And you probably feel the same way. Like
I feel the same way. I'd be like, anyway, like I'm literally anyway. So did
like, you watch Friends? I don't think this is enough for an episode, but she literally told me that she thinks I'm a sociopath.
Did I say that?
Yes, you did.
About you. Oh, yes. I did say that about you. But then I also said that I thought I was.
I don't also said that. And I was like, how am I? What? I'm a sociopath?
I've also said. You asked who?
I know. I asked people at my job because I was like, well, what's worse? What's worse, a sociopath or a psychopath? And this girl, because she like is into psychology and she wants to be a judge and like law stuff and like serial killer. She's like, oh, a sociopath is good. You don't want to be a psychopath. So that made me feel better. I was like, okay, well, maybe I am a sociopath.
I'm so mean to you. Girl, I'm so mean to you.
You're not mean to me. You're not mean to me. It was like a little jarring. And I was like, because one thing I do not want to do is like take something on that, like, seriously, like, am I a sociopath?
No, I mean,
again, do not take it back. You said it.
No, but I think we have then since established that it is I. It is I that has a problem.
I don't know, but
I called you a sociopath and me a psychopath. Haven't I said that? Because I know I've said that.
Okay, I didn't hear. I just heard the sociopath part for me, and I was just like, but don't worry, I haven't internalized it. Huh?
When we were going to Mexico, I was like, don't worry about it because I'm nuts. I do be saying that about me.
And then I got scared.
I got nervous. You got nervous.
She's like, I'm a psychopath.
I'm like, I'm mental. So yeah, I apologize. I mean, granted, you don't take it no way.
I kind of felt safe though. I did. I was like, oh, because she go down.
Yeah, no, she crazy.
Everybody. I was like, okay, well, I feel a little safe because. Because if you feel like it's the end, if you feel like it's the end, you're just gonna stab everybody. Because it's the end.
That's it.
And I was like, wait, don't do that. I'm like, wait, don't do that. So maybe I don't know, but I don't know. I might. I don't know because I don't know. I've never really looked into it. But
no,
I have been told I am like, kind of colder. And maybe, like
logical.
So it's like, maybe I am, but I am social. And that's what the girl told me at my job. She was like, sociopaths, the difference is that sociopaths fit into society better. And I'm like, yeah, I can do that. Because if I want to turn it on, I can be really social. So if I was crazy, no one would know.
That was so mean of me to say though. Because like, why would I say that? You probably did something that had me looking like, what the heck?
Don't get too down on yourself about it. But
I know I won't, but
that's just you to get too down on yourself about it.
When I'm really the one that's out here, like
I have forgot. When you say that, I was like, oh, she's like, because I'm a psychopath. I was like,
because baby,
it got really dark.
It did.
I was like, okay, because I was scared to go to Mexico, y'all, because I didn't want to get human trafficked, and I was like, what are we gonna do? And she was like, girl, don't worry about it. I'm like,
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I got this.
She was like, because I'm a psychopath. And I was like, oh.
Okay. Yeah, no, because I play about my people.
Safe. It made me feel safe because I was like, I have seen it too. When you do get upset, it's a click.
I have a rage. I do have a rage. I do not get in a rage very often. On purpose, I do not get in a rage very often, but I can. So I'm like, don't worry about it. But no, I don't know what happened, what conversation we was having that made me say that about you. And like now in hindsight, I'm like, why would I even say that? You're really, really a sweet person.
I think it's because I can be cold in relationships. Like I can cut people off and you're like, how can you do that?
Yeah. Okay. Maybe that's what it is.
I don't know. I just can't. I just see like I cut my losses. Like this is not going to change. It's got to be over. And a lot of people spend a lot of time and I'm like,
Me. Yeah.
Yes, you. Mm-hmm. introspection. It's true. You do. And I just let you do it. But in mine, I'm like, but we can learn from each other. We've said that. Like I can be more long suffering and you could be less suffering.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I always say
True
we
that.
can learn from each other. That's the beauty of our friendship. One of the best aspects that I love about our friendship is that we're not the same. So that like I can sit there and be like, what would Elise do in this situation? And I'm like, cut that person off. Yep.
Like, why are we even talking about this?
Right. You're like, girl, let it go. Let that person go.
But you got to be careful with that too. You got to be careful with that too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, y'all. So, friends,
what do you guys
let
think?
me know. Does Dania have a point? Just from the conversation y'all have heard today, y'all will not hurt my feelings. I want to know. Just please, please be kind about it. Because if not, I'm just gonna ignore you. Because again, if the message ain't right, but I want to know, like, are both of us a little right, or is one of us definitely right and wrong? Please let us know on Honestly Friends Pod, and we will see y'all next episode.
Bye, guys. Love y'all. Be safe. Okay.